Ofcom have been proclaiming finally about GBNews and saying that GBNews has broken their impartiality rules. Specifically, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Esther McVey and Philip Davies. Esther McVey and Phil come as a pair, and Esther McVey is the minister without portfolio, or the minister without a job, the minister without sense, and currently, I believe, the minister without a job on GBNews. So it's all come a little bit late. So GBNews has been castigated by Ofcom for 2 episodes of Rees-Mogg's State of the Nation and 2 episodes of Esther and Phil and 1 episode of Esther and Phil on Saturday. These 5 episodes all apparently broke rules 5.1 and 5.3 of the Broadcasting Code. And specifically, the Ofcom people don't like, they don't mind opinion, but they don't like politicians broadcasting the news, because politicians by definition are partial, and therefore they automatically undermine the integrity and credibility of regulated news broadcasting by simply opening their mouth. By opening their mouth, politicians are automatically suggesting bias and deceit? I don't know. It doesn't say a lot about how we regard politicians, does it? And the GBNews, I think, isn't as bad as all that. I think GBNews isn't doing the sort of job that it could be doing. It could be doing an extraordinary job in showing a way for genuinely private broadcasting to challenge and to make some sort of headway into the debate about the dullness and the inadequacy of mainstream media. And when it gets it right, it has guests who come on to GBNews who disagree with the politicians who have been elevated into the role of newscasters, and they add weight to the debate because we presumably understand and know and recognise and question the conservative line of the presenters, or we think we understand, question, and can positively discern the plan of the Conservative line. As we know, the plan for the Conservatives is very important. We have to stick to the plan. But GBNews, understandably, has questioned the Ofcom decision, says that Ofcom have arbitrarily changed the test for broadcasting and have changed the understanding of what impartiality is, and this therefore interferes with freedom of speech. Frankly, I think that although there are issues with GBNews and that GBNews has to address, this Ofcom fiasco only shows the inadequacy of Ofcom. So late to call out any apparent bias, and so feeble in doing so, so selective in doing so, so useless in its manifestation of power. It's like being savaged by a paper cat, not even a paper tiger. It's frankly so incoherent, so inconsistent, and anyway, the people who make up the bulk of their complaint, Esther McVey and Phil, can no longer be significant. They are no longer current presenters of GBNews. The whole thing is old hat. What is the point of an organisation that crawls along, that is supposed to protect the viewers, if by the time it finally deigns to pronounce, the problem is gone? I think the problem actually still exists. It's just Ofcom have identified the wrong things and have looked at the wrong things and hope that that's going to be okay. It's not okay. It's a waste of time. The only thing this justifies the salary of the people in Ofcom, and that frankly should be abandoned.